Hey guys, Missy Deluxe here again. Another tutorial video. If you missed my last video, it was a tutorial on how to build this elevator. So go ahead and check back. I did place these 3 blocks since then. But it's basically a tutorial on how these elevators work. These ones are built to Bedrock. But you can, if you want to, I'll show you something real quick. What we're going to do in this episode is I'm going to show you how I build my rooms at Bedrock. Again, that was at the request of Tronic, one of our many subscribers who is pretty awesome on the channel. But I'm going to show you something really quick. If you want a quick elevator to get up and down off of a roof or something like that, you can quickly throw in some blocks like this. Oops. Of course, that didn't work. We'll just pretend I didn't place that like that. And if you ever want to do this, this is just really quick to show you. You can also just throw something real quick like this down. Again, these flagstone blocks are easy to make. I showed in the last video how you can do that. Let's go ahead, go check out that last tutorial video. This makes a really easy way of getting up and down off of things without having to, anyway, so in order to put that at the top block, again, I showed in my last video, you have to have support up there to hold this last hatch. So you don't always have to do that. You can always just jump up that one extra block. But you place this down here. And this is just a quick way for you to get on top of it. Oops. Put it the wrong way. That's what I meant about putting the hatches backwards so you can't get in there. So, yeah. Just be aware of that. Okay, so we didn't do that. Nobody saw that happen. All right, so you just step in here. And why is that not allowing me in there? Oh, I think it's because of the block. Anyway, you step in here, just send yourself up. And that's a quick way of getting up and down. And all you have to do is down here. You can place a couple of hay bales here, but I wouldn't really recommend that because you can't step in. So just dig a spot into the ground. 2 spots here. Like that. And where's my hay bales? I don't have any because somebody made me throw them away, which is probably myself. So put these here. That way you always have a quick way down and you don't have to, but that's just something quick. If you're building one like this on the side of your house, you may want to actually take this, maybe like this, and enclose this so that you don't get zombies kind of banging away at it and stuff like that. And just kind of maybe make yourself a little, makeshift. I don't know. You can do anything like this. But anyway, so this was just something quick to show you. That way it's kind of blocked in and the zombies aren't really bothering with it. Because again, well, actually, you probably should leave the hole on this side here. This way your spot here is not being banged at by anything. And then you can always put like a little, I don't know, fence gate or something here or whatever you want just to kind of block it off. If you use something like, let's go with these, for some reason, zombies do not jump over these. Again, if someone knows otherwise, you can go ahead and correct me in the comments. But as far as I know and what I've experienced, zombies usually don't jump over them. For some reason, they get stuck behind them and they just kind of bounce up and down. So this is also something that you can, where's that fence? Oh, this is also something that you can do to kind of block this off, and just kind of do a quick little makeshift fence around here. That way nothing can get in and out. So you can just hop over here, use your little elevator system, to get upstairs if you want to. And again, there's nothing up here to affect you. Then you just come down here and you just drop back down and out you go. So yeah, that's just that for quick starters. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you how I, again, you can go back and watch the tutorial video on the building of this elevator system. Again, these are very successful down at Bedrock because of the idea that they're really far down, nothing really bothers you. And again, if you're not prepared for the 7-day horde, say you're building something upstairs and you're not really prepared for it, you can come down here and stay down here for the entire night. And when you go up in the morning, then the zombies won't be running if you do have running on, and you'll be nice and safe. So, pardon the cigarette lighting, guys. I apologize. Okay, so one huge recommendation. If you are building a base here on top of here, do be aware that when you're down here at Bedrock and you're building, when you're breaking out holes and things like that, it can cause structural integrity problems. So, excuse me, if you're building something up here, always be sure to build support pillars down here, and I'll show you how I do that as we go. But if you do place pillars down here, and then at some point you decide that you want to break one of those pillars out, it may cause problems here at your base. So, say you want to make your base this whole corner. I do recommend deciding on a direction, whichever way you want to go. In this case, I already put a wall here, so we're going to go this way. Now, because you're at Bedrock, as you can see, you can't dig any more down. So you won't, you don't have a danger of going too far down. But I would suggest making a tunnel at least, so many blocks wide. So we'll say, let's just say we go this far, for instance. Get yourself, I'm not going to do it for the making of the video because, it's going to take us too long. But again, look at your map and try and go to an area that you feel is a little bit on the outskirts of your base so that you're not going to have any kind of collapses. But again, if you make sure that you put down supports, then you should be perfectly fine. Now, I recommend doing 4 high. So this is why I used this as an example. And I put this, get up there. And I put this block up here. The reason I recommend 4 high is so you can put in a floor. You do not have to. You can only dig 3 up if you want to. But then you're not going to have the option to put in a floor. So it's completely up to you. If you're a person like me, who's a girl and likes to paint and, enjoy all of those new painting systems, then going 4 high like this would be a lot better for you, because then you can just place in, your blocks here, and it's going to look really nice. And later on for the future, you can design things and paint them and stuff like that. So that's just kind of a quick, thought on how I do this. But again, you can place everything at Bedrock. You do not have to do that. But the thing is if you don't, you won't be able to paint the floor. Now, you can also go, an extra 1 higher, and you can also put in a ceiling as well. So that's why if you do this 4 high, now I've got the 3 high ceilings, and I can also paint my ceiling as well if I want. Again, not necessary. But also remember too, if you are putting in these ceilings, do try and make sure your rooms are no more than, I want to say 7 by 7, just to be on the safe side. If you do them any bigger than that, make sure these are made out of concrete. So again, if you want to put ceilings in and things like that, it's great. But the blocks themselves do not have the integrity that the stone around it does. So you want to make sure that you can upgrade this kind of stuff to concrete. Don't worry about the floor, of course. So usually what I do is I start right on the opposite wall of the elevator. So I build, usually I count blocks, but we're going to do this real quick. I just kind of build little areas, and I use these as markers. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we'll say this is 7, okay? So now what you want to do is go 7 in the other direction. Now, once you get this 7, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So that we'll count this block as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be 6, 7. Okay. And then we're going to dig back out the other way. And I do this in a square like this so that you have no chances of anything collapsing. If you're just doing tunnels like this, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're just doing tunnels like this, your area will not collapse on you. Okay, so this ends up being 6, 7. All right, so there we got a 7 by 7 room. Now, make sure that right now as it sits, we have no support in here at all whatsoever. So once you're done doing this, just dig out this center. So all of this will be perfectly safe. Nothing should collapse in here. Oh, that you need to be aware of. As you can see, that's gravel. Look what happens. Now you will get collapses. If this goes all the way to the surface, you could be having a problem. Because sand is very weak, as you guys all know. And so having sand collapse on you can be very difficult. I cannot stress this enough. Do not make a base like this in a desert area at all. I've had people in my streams, on my servers that have done so and had complete collapses because of the idea that sand is not structurally safe at all. So do not do it in a sand biome at all, or desert biome, I should say. All right, so if you do find an area like this, before you continue digging, which I did not do, but before you continue digging around, if you want your ceilings 4 high, put these in around the area or some kind of support, even if it's wood, to prevent any more of this gravel from, see, like that, from collapsing on top of you. All of this stuff can actually kill you. So I would just, throw some kind of, makeshift blocks in here. You know what? It's kind of dark. Let me, okay, so in these corners right here, usually what I do to add to kind of the color, and I think we're getting a little bit. Now try and make some concrete pillars. You can use the rebar and just upgrade them. But if you can, try and use concrete or at least the flagstone and upgrade it. And put these into the corners of each room. Why is that not going in there? This being that they are structurally sound. And we don't have a whole lot of light down here, guys. Hang on. Just quickly eat here before my character has a conniption. So you will have those into the corners. The reason I say put them in the corners, now you could put them anywhere. You could put them in the center of this room if you want. But just be warned, if you put them in the middle of the room, they're always going to be in your way, right? Does not want to go up there. That's because you didn't dig her out right, silly. I'm just kind of doing something quick here to show you anyway, guys. But make sure you put those in there. Again, carry some from my last video I was mentioning about the destroyed stone. Keep some of this in your inventory so you can always swap it out and fill in little holes that you've dug out, which will, again, kind of improve the structure of the area a little bit, and prevent collapses and things like that. Always fill in holes and gaps, because they can cause issues later. Yeah, so just make sure to, kind of put in a little bit of a ceiling here, which will prevent stuff from falling on you. And you know, keep things a little bit safe. Let me, oops. Let me just, oh my goodness. I got to learn these controls sometimes. Okay, so, give myself a mining helmet so you guys can see a bit better. But, yeah, so just make sure, again, like I said, put these kinds of things in here. They will cause structural problems up top. So if you make sure that you have blocks up on top of here to kind of add support, then you're not going to get that happening, because you don't want anything happening to your base upstairs. So sometimes a good idea is to build your base and then go, I don't know, we'll say 20 blocks from that area, and you know, then build your room however you want it. Come out of there for a minute. All right, so now again, like I said, I put those pillars in the corners. So once you fill in, I need some more flagstone. Once you fill in this area, it's going to look quite nice, and you'll have the corners hidden by these blocks. So again, like I said, it'll look nice. Oops. And you won't have any pillars in your way. Oops. Yeah, I'm breaking blocks around me because that's what I do. But again, this is just quickly for tutorial to show you. I know I'm kind of doing a messy job, and I apologize for that. But it's kind of blinding now. I hope you guys can see this good. I should kind of leave that on. But I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a quick guide for you. So another reason for the pillars to be in the corners, guys, is you'll know that this room is 7 by 7, and so you'll know what you want as far as, you know, your size goes and things like that. Again, that's the only reason I say 7 by 7 is to keep your support structure a little more sound, and then you don't have to worry about everything collapsing on you. And again, it's more or less for surface area. The more structure you put in down here, the more better your structure is going to be up top. You know what I mean? So more support is definitely important. So now, once you've gotten these in here, oops, oh goodness. Once you've placed this stuff in the corners, this is just a small room just to show you. And now if you want a bigger room, like I say a 7 by 7 or 9 by 9, you'll have to put in a little bit more supports. But if you do rooms like this down here, then, like I said, you have the option to paint the ceilings. It's all structurally sound, and there's pillars in those corners. Now, because they're in those corners, you know they're in there. So what you can do is you can now dig, if you wanted to, a doorway here, right in the center, and then you can go and build another big room off of that one. Again, just making sure you put supports. So you can do as many supports as you want, as little as you want, but just make sure that you make sure that I mean, that's really, really important. Make sure that those support blocks are placed in there, because if you don't place them, you're going to end up with problems up at the surface. So these little areas are perfect, because when you later on, you can have a nice little area here. So say you want to build, you know, a little section here, 1, 2, 4. These forges you can place here, and you can cook and do whatever you want, and have these little rooms. So say this is, you want this as your forge area, you can make some, let's see here. You can make what's called storage boxes, for those of you who don't really know much about them. And you can place an entire wall of storage here, you know, but the good thing is you can place all of these blocks here. You could place a few above the forges to put your metals and stuff like that. It's a very small room, but it works. And you could build another room off of here. You got hallways here. You could build other bedrooms, you know, things like that. But again, always consider those pillars. Now you've got pillars in those two corners. So if you want to build another room down here, at least you know that corner has one. So you can go 5 or 6 blocks to that direction and build another room, dig it out again, and just put another pillar in the opposite corner and, you know, kind of take care of it like that. So this is just kind of how I do my rooms. I do not always put a roof because I don't usually paint the ceilings. Usually I just like painting the floor and the walls. But if you're a person who, you know, loves to paint and you love to design your areas and stuff like that, the paint system is really nice. There is lots of things that you can get in here. I'm just going to give you a quick little demonstration here. There is 5 books, as you can see. Now, you do have to learn them all if you intend to paint. So that's why I'm kind of taking them all out. If you read them all, then you basically have... It'll take you a while to get these, of course, in the world and stuff like that. But once you've learned them all, you'll basically have access to every block. So that's why we're doing this, so that you can see. I'm just doing a quick little... The decorations is one that's really big, because the decorations is the one that has these ones, your storage crates. So, you know, you can build a nice little room down here. All of this stuff can be your metals. Say you wanted all of this to be building materials, then you can just change that to this one, and, you know, hold this in and do this little stuffy here. Now, just be warned, I am under creative mode. So if I press the button, which is R, and you're going to see this really big flyout menu. If you are not in creative, you will only see the eyedropper, this tool, and the paint. You will not see the other ones. So just be aware of that. You're going to see all these symbols, but that's only because I'm in creative. But again, okay, guys, so that's just kind of a quick tutorial of what I do at Bedrock. Again, always consider pillars. Pillars are very important. Try to always make your pillars out of at least concrete or the upgraded flagstone. The more support that you have down here at Bedrock, the better. You can have as many forges as you want, as many things as you want down here. Just be aware of that. If you want to build a really big 15 by 15 room or something, I would just recommend that every, say, 7 to 8 blocks, you place pillars. Max of 9. Just make sure that you're, just be careful of it. And if you do come across sand like I showed you, you know, dig out a little bit of an area around it. Do put some pillars in and some support around that so you do not get any more structure collapse. Because if you do this in a desert area and you hit some gravel like that, it will collapse from bedrock to surface. And we've seen that happen ourselves. So again, this was kind of a little quick tutorial just to show you how I build a room at Bedrock. So again, I want to thank you guys all so much for your support. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe if you're new. And go ahead and leave me a comment below, guys. You know, let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys would like to see more tutorial videos, because I'm just kind of learning how to do this, guys. So bear with me as I learn. And again, if you guys need any help with anything, ask in the comments. I'd be glad to help anyone. So again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.